Person, and I will be your instructor. All right, so I will be doing the technical part. So blockchain and AI. How many of you guys have heard of it? And if you have heard of it, just give me like one line of sentence, either blockchain or AI, and tell me what it is. All right, so Shari said I know about blockchain. Alexa said I never heard of it. Anil said crypto. And pardon me if I get your name wrong. All right, so I'm not good with people saying people's name. All right. So NFT games, study AI, decentralized system, came from cryptocurrency. All right, so I got how many guys invested in cryptocurrency? Blockchain is a decentralized ledger. Okay, that is correct, Keishan. So Keishan got it right. Blockchain is a decentralized ledger. NFT. All right, blockchain, a collection of records where each block is linked to the previous. That is correct, Bridget. Sharia in layman language is a decentralized data storage system. That's correct. All right. And how about AI? I see no response with AI. So blockchain secure data, smart machine behaving like human, AI. All right, that's correct. I answer AI, Mr. I answer AI. Okay. AI database system. All right. So don't worry if I didn't read it. So there's like already like 100 messages within the past 10 seconds. So, it's going to be a little overwhelming on my side. And I look like there's 31 new messages that I still have to read. All right. So human-like cognition. All right. ChatGPT, AI, predefined response, and AI performing complex tasks. All right. So that's all great response. Okay. So basically, in a blockchain is basically a shared and immutable ledger that facilitate the process of recording transaction and tracking assets in a business network. All right. So does anybody know what is immutable? So don't worry if you don't know what's immutable. That's like a programming term. And that is correct, Sharia and Vara. So it cannot be modified. So once it's created, it cannot be changed. Is unchangeable. It is there permanent. All right. So a blockchain, once the data is created, you can delete it. It will be saved forever. All right. So how it works is basically a transaction is requested and authenticated by the blockchain network. All right. So once the blockchain is in the network, it will ask for authentication, and then from there, a new block is created to represent that transaction. From there, a new block is sent to the node, which basically a node is like basically anybody that's connected to the network. So if I am connected to the network, basically I'm the node as well. So it's all the node that's on the network, and the block will get sent to all the node, and all the nodes will validate the new block and transaction. And in most cases, when a node validate, they will receive a reward, and that constitutes basically proof of work or proof of stake. And then a new block is added to the blockchain, and then the blockchain update is distributed to cross network, and then the transaction is complete. So that's basically like the rundown. Okay. So it will get sent to the node validate, and then the block will be part of the blockchain. Okay. So that's why they call it blockchain. Right. Pretty simple, right, guys? And how many of you guys have done any have you guys done like programming with Solidity or any language? Okay, let's see some respond. And then how about other languages like C++, Java, C# or Python? Okay. Okay, so we see we've got some technical background. All right. So we we have like a technical background in this workshop. All right. Awesome. All right. And then let me know, what is your guys' favorite language, or what's your favorite guys' technology and language? Okay. All right. So, right now, as as technology keep growing, we're gonna see a lot of technology that will be overlapping with other technology. And right now we're seeing a trend where AI and blockchain are, kind of combining together, right? So blockchain and artificial intelligence are two of the hottest technology trend that is right now. Even though the technology is completely different and have different party developing and application research, there's still be overlapping, all right? So both technology will benefit from one another, okay? All right, so it has been said by PwC, predicted that by 2030, AI will add up to 15.7 trillion to the world economy, and as a result, global GDP will rise by 14%. And according to Gartner prediction, business value added by blockchain technology will increase to 3.1 trillion by the same year. All right. So as each of the technology grow, the other technology will benefit. Okay. Someone let me give me an example what type of AI technology you can use today? All right. Oh, ChatGPT is amazing. All right. So let's find one that is not ChatGPT. I think that's like the most popular one. Black Box AI. Yeah, I haven't heard of Black Box, but I keep seeing advertised for that one. Okay, Midjourney, Perplexity, Devin, Gemini, CC, and Google Bar. All right, awesome. All right, so you look like you guys are up to date to the latest technology. All right, you guys find AI exciting or a little scary? Yeah, I find AI amazing, especially ChatGPT. Before ChatGPT, it usually takes some time to learn a new technology, but with ChatGPT, I'm able to speed run, a new technology in much less time. So it's definitely easy if you like to study. All right. So it goes without saying that each technology have its own individual degree of complexity, but both AI and blockchain are in a situation where they can benefit from each other and help one another, right? With both technology able to affect and enact upon data in different ways, they come together make they're coming together makes sense. And it will take, the expectation of data to a new level. Can someone tell me and why on the chat? Why, it will benefit with each other? So you have AI and blockchain and how they benefit from each other. And don't worry if you don't know the answer, or if you're not sure what is blockchain or AI, this is just an introduction workshop. So Monica said AI can automate blockchain tax. Yeah, that's a good one. Blockchain increase privacy. That's correct. AI for processing data and blockchain for transaction. That's correct. And Ushana said maybe decentralized, secure, and anonymous data set. But the data set won't be anonymous. It will be in the public, but it will definitely be decentralized and secure. All right. So those are all great answers. Okay. So additionally, blockchain can also make more AI more coherent and understandable. Okay, and we can trace and determine why decisions are made in machine learning. So with blockchain and its ledger can record all data and variable that go through decision made under machine learning. Moreover, AI can boost blockchain efficiently far better than human or even standard computing can. Okay. All right. So here's some of the application that you can use with AI and blockchain. Smart computing power. If you were to operate a blockchain with all its encrypted data on a computer, you will need a large amount of processing power, right? On creating diverse data set, unlike artificial intelligence-based project, blockchain technology create decentralized, transparent network that can be accessed by anyone around the world in a public network situation. And data protection, all right? So the progress of AI is completely dependent on the input of data, okay? Through data, AI can receive information about the world and things happening on it, okay? So those are some of the application. So with AI, it will just make it more efficient and more better, okay? Another one is data monetization. So this is a disruptive innovation that could be possible by combining the two technology. And that is basically monetizing data, right? So you're collecting your data and having it stored on the blockchain where it is public, all right? And let's say if you want to, monetize that data, all right? So you can use monetize that data, and other people can use that data, to, build their own AI program for learning. So company that's paying a close attention are big corporation or large companies such as Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. Okay. All right. So can anybody tell me why would Google, Facebook and Microsoft will want large amount of data, even though they hold most of the data? All right. Can anybody answer that question? So that's one reason, they can create ad revenue, use user base, that's another. Oh, okay. My chat kind of went down, so it kind of skipped some. So Anif said, they can sell that data to other companies. Okay. All right. So I like the Aditya Paul for making better service. So that's a great one. Data as for input for training model. All right. So that's, if they're trying to build like an AI machine, they would need training data for their model. More data equal more power. Okay. All right, so this is all great response. Okay. So in today's world, in the world of technology, data is actually very, very important, right? So with data, you can build, products. Okay. So it can be any type of products. Right now we had a huge boom in AI with ChatGPT. And with ChatGPT, it was storing, large quantity of text as their training data, all right? And with that, they were able to build a program that is a chatbot, all right? Same with, big social media sites. So let's say with YouTube, all right? Their whole theme with YouTube is giving user the video they like, all right? In order to give user the video they like, they need to know what you like. And in order to know what you like, they need to, collect the data based on all the inputs that you do. So, if you like to watch, let's say, horror movie, if you spend like the past month watching a horror movie, it's safe to say that, maybe the video you want to watch right now will be horror movie. Okay. So with data, it can provide you better products for the company. All right. So data is extremely important when it comes to, technology. Okay. So yeah, so I like Anil response. Customer interest which drive their product development. So that's the perfect summary on that part. All right. All right. So trusting AI decision making, all right, as AI algorithm becomes smarter through learning, it will become increasingly difficult for data science to understand how these programs came to specific conclusion and decision. All right. So usually this is kind of like an issue once a AI program become too big. So example will be YouTube, recommendation system and monetization. It turned to it become like black magic where they don't the people that created don't understand how it made that decision or how it works. Same with ChatGPT, once they get to a certain level, it just become, too big to even understand it. It just basically think on its own. All right. So, there's some pros and cons. And the biggest con is the type of data. So you kind of want some good data that's coming into it. And not all data are good. Some data are just pretty much bad and it just kind of mess up the program. But with blockchain, we're able to secure the data, and it can provide quality data for AI to learn from. Okay. All right. Smart contracts. Okay. Can anybody tell me what is a smart contract? Or actually, let me know on the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you heard about smart contract, or thumbs down if you never heard of it. Okay, let's see. Let's see a response. Okay. Okay, I kind of lost where I was at. Okay. All right, so I'll go where it says, where's dev? Self is executing contract with certain condition encoded in it. All right, good response. It's a legal contract made for blockchain development. Digital agreement, predefined condition when met, which met, and the process get executed. Code that execute on a blockchain when a certain condition is met. Mathematics self-executing contract. Contract that approve the transaction when it has certain rules to be approved by two party. All right, so awesome response. Transaction that are being used. Oh my, so it look like you guys have already done smart contract. All right. Execute and automatically when term are met. All right, awesome. So they're all great response. Okay. Whoops. All right, so basically, what is contract? A contract is a digital agreement, all right? So as a contract, a regular contract is a, physical agreement. Smart contract is a digital agreement, all right? So now we live in a world that we can create, digital agreement online, all right? And that is signed and stored on a blockchain network, which which execute automatically when the contract term and condition are met. The term and condition is written in a blockchain specific program language such as Solidity or Rust. I've seen like a lot of languages using Rust and in a few using Haskell. And smart contract are the foundation of most blockchain use case, such as non-fungible token, which is the NFT, to dApps and the metaverse. All right. So I like, so excuse me if I don't pronounce your name right. Abhishek. So Abhishek put smart contracts aim to provide security, transparency, and efficiency in various transactions, ranging from financial agreement to supply chain management and more. So I like that one response. Okay. All right. So how are you guys feeling? You post on the chat if you're feeling good. I'm feeling excited, or you can also put an emoji. And then you just let me know. Am I going a little too fast for you guys, or or the speed is right? Okay. All right. And actually, before I go, let's actually, so I'm gonna go a little ahead of myself right here. Okay, let me just do remix. All right, and how many guys have heard of remix? All right, so I got one no, or okay, okay, better question. Now, how many guys heard of IDE? Okay, so remix is an online IDE made specifically to program with Solidity for the Ethereum blockchain. All right, so here how it looks. And it's pretty, futuristic, kind of like, you're basically doing cloud computing online, all right? And you have a built-in chat GPT right here. So I could put right here, I do GPT teach me about blockchain, okay? Can't believe I just did that. We definitely live in the future, which is exciting. All right. And it gave me a response, and I say, whoops, GPT teach me Solidity. Okay. All right. So what I'm showing you guys, so we can go more hands-on tomorrow, but this is the one of the technology you guys are gonna be playing with, for developing smart contract. Okay. So over here, let me say I believe border. Okay. All right. So here's an example of a smart contract. So this is all programmed using Solidity. All right. Oh, it's not really cheating. AI is my, assistant now that I pay, every month. Okay. So this is right here. Is an example of a smart contract. Okay. And if you notice, for those who already have programming experience, you got functions right here with, arrays and object and struct. Okay. And don't worry if you never done coding before or never done it, just don't worry if you're kind of lost. I would teach you all of this. So you will once we do some coding, you will get to this level. All right. Nice. But this is an example of a contract. All right. And you're able to test it too. So let me say if I want to compile it. All right. Okay. So one thing I'm being having issue, I think this new update caused it to have some bugs, but we're able to, test it out over here. And we can see the transaction, the block, what's the block number, the address, and how much gas. All right. So this is just the testing purpose. But this will, give you an example of how we'll interact, once it's deployed onto the actual network. Okay. All right. Any question? So there's already a built-in tool. So over here, let's say, so right now, let me see if I can go Cancun. Yeah. So yeah, I have to like do some reset, like a hard reset, because for some reason on Edge, it just always end up freezing up. But you can just hit deploy and load a contract. And then once the contract loaded, you can test it out. All right. And then now let's say if you want to deploy it to the actual blockchain, you can just use some of the servers such as Ganeshi. Right. All right, so I see some gas limit. All right, so yeah, so every transaction, it will use some sort of gas. All right, so the default will be 3M. All right, but we can adjust it. So we're not gonna go too in depth. This is just to show you, what a smart contract will look like. All right, tomorrow we will go more in depth, and we're gonna actually build our own smart contract. Okay. All right. So did this sound exciting for you guys, or is it a little okay? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. All right. All right. So right now, this is just to just show you. So I'm not teaching you how to build smart contract, but tomorrow you guys will actually play with it. Okay. Okay, so let me check where we're in slide 24. Present. Let me see. Uh, Give me a second. Okay. Ooh, so I got a response. You are an awesome instructor, buddy. You exactly know how to control the pace and everything. Oh, thank you so much. That just, touched my heart. Yeah, so I usually for me, I usually try to, slow down my pace. I tend to go super fast, and then once I notice I go super fast, I have to kind of just like catch myself. All right. So let's see. All right. So Kavia, once again, explain, sir. Which part do you want me to explain? All right. So that is a small example of a smart contract. Uh, once again, okay. So I'll explain it. All right. Okay. So let me see. All right. So let me zoom in. Okay. So I believe somebody want to explain further. All right. Okay, so this right here is all Solidity. All right, Solidity is a programming language. All right, it's a programming language that allow you to communicate with your computer. All language allow you to communicate with your computer. It would translate this code into binary, which is the language for computer, which is 1 and 0. All right, and this is what we will use because it's much easier to understand compared to just writing ones and zero. Okay. Now, the one that we use for what I use right down here, it's just a built-in GPT. So it's not really necessary to use it. You don't have to use it. It's just built in to the code editor. You just type in GPT and just type whatever, all right? I could just do teach me Solidity, right? It's not really necessary because if you have Chat GPT, you can just do the same thing. So this is just a built-in GPT, which is free, and it can help you, through your program. All you gotta do is just type in the word GPT, and then whatever response. So let's say, GPT, teach me Solidity, and normally I just put provide me code and small description. All right. So that's what I normally use for when I do like coding. I always say provide me code because if not, they just give you like a long paragraph of theories, but I want something hands-on. All right. And then you get contract over here. And this is all the different contract you can work with. So think of it as a file. All right. So just a basic file. And here is just an example of the coding part. Okay. So I'm not gonna go too in depth just today. So we'll go more in depth on the technical part tomorrow. So this is just a quick demonstration of a smart contract. So that way you guys can play. All right. So we will be using both Remix and Visual Studio. So you can also test it in Visual Studio Code for your for smart contract, but you also have Remix. This is for like to get quicker started. So it has everything built in. All right. So if you want to deploy it, you can deploy. If you want to test out on some of the feature, you can test some of the feature. And it also have some tutorials such as introduction to Solidity and deploying with libraries. Okay. So that's usually so for smart contract, this is like the starting point. Yeah, so it's free. Okay. All right. So, and I see we got a couple questions. So look like I guess like the technical part was the most interesting part. See, like everybody's like asking that one specifically. All right. Let me present first. Okay. So the tools you guys will be using, and let me see. This is the one. No way. Give me 1 second. Slide 23. Okay. All right. So two main tools you will be using is Solidity, and that's going to be used to build smart contract. And also, this is also part AI. So you also have to learn AI. And the language you're going to use for AI is Python, right? So you will use Python to work with AI, and you will do some basic data science for like, using Matplotlib, pandas, as well as scikit-learn for machine learning, and I believe like deep learning as well. Okay. So the main language is Solidity, and it's also dependent on the blockchain. For our course, we will teach Solidity. Depending what blockchain you use outside of this course, if you, let's say, use, I forgot, what was it Cardano, I believe, that use like Haskell. So other blockchain use different language, but for Ethereum, it will be Solidity. Okay. Any other questions? All right, so JavaScript. Okay, so I see another question. JavaScript, awesome question. So the purpose of JavaScript is a language of the web. All right, so it allow you. So if you know web development, you need to use JavaScript to add interactivity with your website. All right. Now let's say if you want to build something visual for the blockchain. All right. So if you notice when I was showing you my contract, all right, that's just all, basically think of it as a backend. All right. So think of Solidity like kind of like a whole backend. All right. It's not going to display visually. It's just going to have a bunch of function that's going to be running on the blockchain. The purpose of JavaScript in the blockchain is to, execute those function while, rendering your, page. All right. So with JavaScript, if you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you're able to display a page visually and interact with the blockchain behind the scene. Okay. All right, so we will teach you caveat. So this is the beginner course, so don't feel too overwhelmed when you see all this code. We will teach you from the complete beginning. So this is what you're gonna be doing. Once you start learning. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think I already read this. Okay. All right. Jiho, we will use both, okay? So starting point will be Remix IDE, and then at some point we can play around with Visual Studio Code, because that's where where all the programmers will be writing their code in any type of technology. So if you're trying to do web development, you'll be using VS Code. Python programming, same thing, VS Code. All right, so Python can use the blockchain. It cannot build, apps for the blockchain. So it cannot build smart contract. All right, but you're able to interact with the blockchain. All right, so there's already libraries built in. All right, all right. So let's go ahead. So I know we gotta go a little further. So I know look like everybody got super interested with the technology part. Right. And don't worry, tomorrow we will dive in a little deeper. So you guys will do the basic of creating blockchain, okay? Okay. So actually, I'm gonna answer one more question. So I believe Dilip, I'm from a QA background. What is the scope for me in blockchain or smart contract space? So what do you mean like scope? Like, can you clarify on that part? Okay. Okay. So yeah. So so basically, this field, there's always job. So if you wanna work remotely, you're free to do so. If you want to look for freelance work, there is jobs for that. So there's job. If you're invested in technology, there will always be jobs. So there's no amount of job that's gonna run out. There's always gonna be a job when it comes to technology. So, especially when as AI grow, other technology will grow with it. Okay, and when blockchain grow, other technology around it will grow with it. So every technology will complement each other. Okay, all right. So don't worry, we will also send you the slide. All right. So next, so how do smart contract work? Okay. So agreements, all right? So the parties want to conduct business or exchange product or service must concur on the arrangement, term, and condition, okay? So contract creation, participant is in a transaction may create a contract in many ways, including building themselves, all right? So that's usually a developer, or collaborating with smart contract provider, okay? Or they might hire a freelancer, and you want to be one of those freelancers to get that job, and the freelancer will help build the smart contract, and then the smart contract deployment. All right. So the smart contract is uploaded to the blockchain in the same way as regular crypto transaction, with the code inserted into the data field of the exchange. Okay. All right. So let me give me 1 second. I want to see. Okay. I was just trying to see if I was a little going too fast. Okay. All right. I think it was this one. Okay. All right. So execution. So when certain parameters are met, the smart contract is activated as per, if and else, or, if then statement. Okay. All right. So monitoring condition, a smart contract can run by tracking the blockchain or a different reliable source for predetermined condition or prompt, and recording. So the blockchain system verified the action taken, logs their completion as exchange, and store that conclude agreement on the blockchain. All right. So there's a lot of stuff. All right. So it does all that behind the scene. All right. So it's a very, very, powerful technology that is amazing that we even get to use. Okay. Okay. So there are multiple type of smart contracts. All right. And the first one is the smart legal contract. All right. So the smart contract are guaranteed by law, and they are here to the structure of the legal contract. If this happened, then this will happen. All right. So can anybody give me, a good an example, or maybe in a scenario where smart legal contract will be useful? Right. It's definitely real estate, digital online purchase. All right. All right. So we got voting system. All right. Safeguarding products through blockchain. That's correct. All right, so those are all good example. All right. So real estate will be a perfect example. When you buy a house, you want to know that, everything that you add, the lease, the fees, and everything that you own, is there publicly. So that way, there won't be any change behind the scene, and you can have proof because the data inside the blockchain that's being stored is immutable. So once it's stored, you can't really change it. Okay. Same with voting system. All right. So you can create a unique identification with this, and this can help prevent fraud. So example, everybody will have one identification, and you can vote, only once. So you're not gonna have someone who has like 5 different identification and voting. Okay. Okay. So, that's okay, Tilda. All right. So this is the introduction course. So don't feel overwhelmed. All right. So counterfeiting medicine and drug using blockchain authentication. So that's perfect. All right. So those are all great response. Another one is DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization, which are democratic groups governed by smart contract that confer them with voting rights. All right. A DAO server as a blockchain governed organization with, with a shared objective that is collectively controlled. All right. So can anybody give me an example of how would this, be useful? So this is basically group governance where, you're gonna have the right to vote. Okay. Okay, we using a private blockchain. All right. All right. And then the last contract will be application logic contract, or ALC, which are basically application logic contract, consists of application-based code that typically remains sync with various other blockchain contract. Okay. Put this here. Okay. So the use of smart contract. All right. So royalty payment in media and entertainment. Actually, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. All right. All right. So royalty payment in media and entertainment. All right. As they enter the industry, new artists rely on revenue from streaming service. All right. Smart contract apps can facilitate easier royalty payment, and these contracts can outline, for instance, the share of royalty payable to the record company and the artist. Instantaneous handling of this payment is an enormous advantage for everyone involved, and smart contract could also potentially solve the challenge of royalty distribution in over the top content world where traditional network agreement does not apply, right? And this, technology allow emerging artists and lesser known artists, actor, to get small but regular payment. All right. So, can anybody, give me an idea why would this benefit for small artists? All right. So that's a one great amazing response, Monica. All right. So you're not gonna need an agency to earn royalty. All right, and you can connect directly to a target audience. So that's actually one very major issue with the music industry. So, and there's like a lot of complaint, they sign record labels and usually there's always shitty deal. And, maybe you have a contract that say, I will earn like, let's say 40% of all the revenue, which is like kind of low. And, the company will earn 60. But when it's time to payment, they take even more and you might end up earning less. So with the smart contract, it's in the public and, it can solve a lot of challenge that a lot of these artists are faced. Okay. Okay. So another use of smart contract is decentralized finance. All right, so look like Anif said don't have to be bound to a label or agency, can directly share music or any other collectible using MT blockchain tech. So that's correct. Okay. So use a smart contract. All right. Another one is DeFi. And DeFi is using cryptocurrency and smart contract. DeFi apps can offer financial service without any intermediary. DeFi is no longer limited to peer-to-peer transaction, and on DeFi platform, smart contract facilitate complex process like borrowing, lending, or derivation transaction. Okay. So how many of you guys have heard of DeFi or even use DeFi? Okay, so had no response, never heard. Oh yeah, so DeFi is part of the blockchain, all right? So you still need the blockchain to work with DeFi. Well, DeFi need to use blockchain, right, in order for it to work. All right. So I have used a little bit of DeFi. So I use it to earn income. Well, not really earn income, but like earn some more currency. So there's different theme for DeFi, but think of it like as an actual bank, but in a decentralized way. In a decentralized way, all right? So you can, let's say borrow money, or you can lend money, or you can even earn, some passive income through DeFi, okay? So example, for me, I use one service called Compound, and that allow you to borrow money as well as lend money, and even, to earn interest with your money. And the money that you earn is going to be paid through crypto, right? So it can be whatever crypto they have, right? All right, so it's gonna happen behind the scenes. So it's still, even though it says decentralized, there's also some form of centralization. Okay, so this is perfect where maybe a place in a country where they don't have banks, and it's kind of hard to get better bank account. With this, you can actually do you're able to borrow money or lend money without the need of like without the need of the middleman. Okay. All right, so it's pretty cool that we can actually do this today's time. You can actually do it right now. So you can just hop on to well, you need like the MetaMask extension and hop into whatever DeFi platform. For me, I use Compound. All right, so and I use it to earn some interest through crypto, and it will actually pay you from that. Okay. All right. So you can also use conversion of asset into non-fungible token. And by assigning ownership and administering the movable nature of digital asset, smart contract have made it possible to create non-fungible token. Contract like this can also be altered to include added stipulation like royalty along with access right to platform or software. Essentially, smart contract made it possible to treat digital assets just like physical one with real tangible value. All right. So how many of you guys have heard of NFT? All right. So I think that's like probably the most popular one when people hear, blockchain and crypto. Okay. So let me know. So how many guys have played with NFT or bought NFT or interact with it? One NF-ton in 2022. Oh, all right. Okay, explain more, Monica, on the NF-ton. Never bought. So I met somebody who was actually selling NFT. So he was an actual artist and was selling it, and he made a lot of money. I was like, oh my God. I was thinking about just dumping programming and become an artist. Okay, hackathon and to create a collection. All right. And okay, and then like, what did you create, Monica? Okay. And then okay, all right, awesome. All right. So can someone tell me, what will be the benefit of NFT? All right, great job, Monica. All right. So for those who don't know what's NFT, NFT stand for non-fungible token. And it's basically just adding, your physical asset to, into a digital asset. Okay. So, one of the popular when the first NFT first came out, one of the most popular form of asset will be, photos. All right. So let's say if you have any type of artwork, you can turn that artwork into an NFT, and then you can sell that NFT. And then if someone bought that NFT, they own that right for that specific item. And it can also be verified because the blockchain is already stored, so it can show you the transaction when you bought it and where you got it from. Okay. So to earn passive income, we can also buy units of NFT in order to earn money. So that's correct. So there's different form of way of making money. So there's a lot of opportunities here. Okay. Another way to use smart contract is B2B data marketplace. Okay. A data marketplace is a portal where a user can buy and sell a diverse data set or data stream from a wide range of source. Intelligent contract facilitate the creation of a dynamic, fast evolving market that support automated and secure transaction without the hassle of human intervention. Database is a good example of this particular smart contract use case. All right, so basically B2B stands for business to business, and this is more on the business side, all right? And businesses would love to have data because with data, they can, improve their product, okay? And yes, for the recording, you guys will have a recording as well as the slides, okay? So no need to, re-ask that question. You guys will get all of it, okay? Same for supply chain management, all right? Smart contract may work autonomously without a mediator or third party because they are self-executing. An organization can create a smart contract for an entire supply chain, and this will not require management or auditing. Any shipment received beyond the schedule might trigger stipulated escalation measure to guarantee seamless execution, okay? Another one, which is very, very important and is growing, is digital identity card, right? User can store reputation data and digital asset on smart contract to generate a digital identification card. When smart contracts are linked to multiple online service, other external stakeholders can learn more about the individual while divulging their true identity. Okay. Okay, anybody tell me why would this be important or how you will use this? You can paste it on the chat. All right, so Monica, great response. Avoid additional process and have clear identification clarification to identify the user. All right. So yeah, so with so there'll be time where in day to day you will lose some people will lose their actual identity. I mean, and with the blockchain, there's no need to have like a physical card, and then if you lose your physical card, there's no way to verify. You have like a digital place where you can actually verify. Okay. So, this is gonna be very important. So, the type of stuff you can verify is like let's say your state ID, your, birth certificate, right? So there's no need to, go in the whole process when, you can just store it on this decentralized ledger that's public, right? And then, could generate, a QR code to, determine the authenticity, right? So we definitely need this, out right now. Another one is electoral polls. Voting could occur when within a secure environment created by a smart contract, minimizing the likelihood of voter manipulation. Due to the encryption, every vote is ledger protected and extremely difficult to decode. Additionally, smart contract might boost voter turnout with an online voting system driven by smart contract, and one can avoid making trips to a poll location. All right. Another use for the smart contract is real estate. Smart contract can accelerate the handover of property ownership. Contract can be autonomous, creative, and executed after the buyer payment to the vendor. For instance, the smart contract may immediately assign control over the assets depending on the blockchain payment record. Okay. Another use case is the healthcare data management. So smart contract can revolutionize healthcare by making data record more open and efficient. For instance, they might encourage clinical trial by guaranteeing data integrity. Hospital can retain accurate patient data record and effectively manage appointment. All right. So this is also very important. All right. We all need to worry about our health. And let's say we move to a new location and we need, our current record. It's kind of, sometimes it might be a little difficult to actually keep track of it. Things happen. Having a public network that have your record will be much more easy to navigate than a centralized network. Okay. Another example will be civil law. And smart contracts can also flourish in the legal industry, and it can be used to create legally binding business and social contract. And in certain regions of North America, government have authorized smart contract for digitized agreement. For example, California can issue marital and birth certificate as smart contract. Okay. So yeah, so a lot of places, finding some certificate can be a little tedious process. All right, but with using smart cards, it can make your life easy. There've been time where I had to get birth certificate and from let's say New York, and it was kind of difficult because they were asking a lot of information, and then from there if I need to get it signed, they will also require me to send it back. But having it all digital, it just making things much more easy. They can just send me a QR code that has all the information. Okay. All right. So how are you guys feeling? All right. I know that was a lot of use case that I went over, and I think I spent a total of 15 minutes on those use case. You guys feeling good? Not too overwhelmed? Let me double check. All right. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. Oh, okay. 60. Okay. Okay. Let me. Okay. The thing I was right here. Okay, yeah. All right, awesome. Okay. So, all right. So the benefit of a smart contract, all right. So now you have a single source of truth, a reduction of human effort, prevention of error, zero trust by default, because now you're trusting the code for it to work, and a built-in backup. All right. So every node on the blockchain will have the data. And in order to take it down, you have to destroy all the nodes. And that's gonna be like a near impossible task to do that. All right, so here now we're gonna go over some of the tools that's very popular for smart contract, okay? So boring Solidity, right? So is a collection of libraries which is used for developing smart contract that is aimed to streamline and standardize routine tasks, minimize weakness, and enhance overall code quality, right? So think of this as a basic boilerplate or a template, all right? So instead of, just doing, rewriting your code, you already have a basic template of, what a contract should look like, all right? And then you would just, deck it out, all right? So you would just edit it to your own liking, okay? So that's basically boring Solidity. Another one is Chainlink, which is a oracle on the blockchain, which is used to aggregate real-world data from various sources and transfer to a smart contract using the blockchain. All right. Chainlink is among the leading Oracle solution accessible today, and it provides reliable and tamper-resistant data to support smart contract throughout multiple blockchains. All right. So you also have ETH Code, which is a VS Code extension. So I believe someone had mentioned it on the chat. Give me 1 second. And it provides bigger and friendly development environment for the text. All right. So troubleshooting and unit testing, construction code, the code being used in open source and simple for Microsoft user to use. All right. So Octopus, which is a platform, not platform, is a tool to perform in-depth evaluation of smart contract source code, and it offers features for evaluating code like symbolic execution, call flow analysis, or control flow analysis. This will enable you to detect and correct contract error before it's too late. All right. So, it's a good tool when you're trying to debug. Okay. All right. So you also have Open Zeppelin, and it has become one of the most predominant no-code tool employed in smart contract. And this open source framework offer a library of easily integrated safe community review smart contract, and it provide audit and authentication service for smart contract. All right. So anybody know what is a no-code tool? Or have you guys heard of no code? No code? All right. All right. So WordPress is an example of no code. NoPress is pretty cool. All right. Let's add some description and example. All right. So Figma is another example. That's correct. All right. Framer. All right. Can someone give me like a description of a no code? Okay. So basically what no code is basically a platform, or basically you're able to build application without any code, right? So yeah, Patrick, that's perfect. Drag and drop is a good term for it. So you will have, blocks, or icons, or whatever they're using, and you click on the item and you drag it on the screen. So example, WordPress, you can just click, let's say some text, and it will pop up some text. Same with Figma, all right? And it allow you to, build, application without any code. All right. Some cool times, right? It was just like 2 decades ago, you had to have code, but now, we got no code platform. And Solidity, and this is going to be what you guys going to be using a lot, is a primary language used to create smart contract in the Ethereum blockchain. And when it comes to user interface, it's similar to Python, C++, and JavaScript. As they are consistent with the Ethereum virtual machine, Solidity application may run on other blockchain like Polygon and Avalanche. Okay, so let's say, hey, you don't see no future for Ethereum, but you want to travel to a different blockchain, you can still use that same language that you learned. So the main takeaway is smart contract has the potential to transform digital transaction completely. They can enforce immutable terms and conditions and maintain transparency across stakeholder. All right, so yesterday we learned about blockchain as well as smart contract, and we learned about the theory side, all right? But, there's so much that we can do with theory that it won't be enough to become, efficient, expert. So you will also need to do the technical part. All right. And so today's workshop, we will do technical. So we will go over smart contract with Solidity, and we will also dive a little bit of Python. All right. How many of you guys have done Python programming or any other programming? And if you have done other programming, just put it in the chat. What programming language do you guys use? C++, Python, C#, JavaScript, Java, C Basic. All right, so a lot of C's and Python. All right. JavaScript, Python, C++, JavaScript, Python, C++. All right, awesome. All right, so look like you guys have already, enough experience. All right. And then also, for the newbies, if you guys are new to programming and never done programming language, you're supposed to chat, newcomer or new. Okay. All right, so don't worry. Every programmer will have to start from the beginning just to become a subject matter expert. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually work with two languages, Solidity and Python. Solidity for smart contract and Python for AI, okay? So before we get started, we have to explore, the introduction to Solidity. So Solidity is a high-level statically typed programming language for Ethereum smart contract, and it runs on the Ethereum virtual machine. Its syntax is very, very similar to JavaScript. So if you already have experience with JavaScript, you'll find it's a little bit similar. There's just a little difference. I say it's a little more similar to TypeScript. Okay. So the syntax is more similar to, JavaScript. All right. Ease the learning and it will help, if you have a background with web dev, it will be much easier. It support advanced features such as inheritance, libraries, and complex user-defined types. And it allow you to develop, dApps. And that just mean, decentralized application, okay? So here are some of the, basic syntax, okay? You have variety of different data types, such as Boolean, integer, string, address, and bytes, okay? As well as you have the option to add a access modifier. So that will, provide you, if you want to make your data type strict, where you can only access in the contract, you will make it private, or you want to be able to access, outside the contract, which will be public. Okay. So if you notice right here, you have different data types. You got Boolean, which has a public access modifier, and Boolean are basically true or false statements. All right. You also have int and unint. And for this course, we're going to be using mostly unint. So the difference between int and unint is that, with int, you're able to add whole numbers with negative and positive value, where uint only allow for positive value, okay? And then the last data type is the address. And that is mainly for, if you try to grab, other people Ethereum address for identification or to send, payment. Okay. All right. So some stuff you will encounter, and this is applied to not just Solidity, but applied to all programming language, is you have, control structure. All right. So one control structure is using conditional statements such as if, else, and else if. Okay. And that basically allow you to control the flow of your program. Okay. All right. So anybody have any question on this part, or is it a little confusing? So I'm assuming no question. All right. So let's go with if statements. All right. So if statement allow you to control the flow of your program. All right. And how it does it is it follow, certain conditions. And the condition can be, whatever condition you want. So example, let's say 5 is greater than 10, right? So let me know in the chat, is 5 greater than 10? You tell me it's true or tell me it's false. All right, false. All right. All right. So you have many way to add conditions. So you can add numeric value where you could check if it's greater than, equal to, or not equal to, or you can compare a string of text to see if the value is if it's similar or not. All right. So right now, what I want you guys to do is on the chat, I want you guys to give me two statement, one statement that is true and one statement that is false. All right. And it can be numeric value, or it can be a string of text. So it must be true. One, and you need to have two state condition. One is true and one is false, and it can be whatever way you want to add. And then for those who are very, very new to coding and never done this before, what I'm asking is, you can just write a sentence about a condition. Let's say, maybe 3 is greater than 5, something very, very basic. 3 greater than 5, and that will be, either true or false, or, pizza is equal to pizza, right? Ooh, I love Java. False. I love coffee. True. Well, I'm having coffee right now. Right. Weather is hot. Equal true. I'm hot. Equal false. All right. 10 is divided by 2. True. All right. Awesome. All right. So I'll give you guys a few more minutes. She hate me. True. She like me. False. Oh, those are funny ones. Seminar is good. True. Awesome. All right. Let's try to get as much response. We want to make this like super, super fun and interactive. All right. 10 modulo 6, false. Okay. All right. So yeah, so those are all great response. Okay. Now we have a statement called if, where if you add a condition inside of if, and if the statement is true, it will execute, a block of code. Okay. So that's like the basic fundamental. So if you understand the conditioning part, just working with it will be super easy. Okay. Another control structure that you will work on is loops. All right. And loops are a statement that allow you to repeat a block of code if the condition is true. All right. So it will repeat multiple times. All right. All right. So example right here. Let me see the annotation right here. So this is an example of a loop. Okay. So you have a for loop. And for those who you never done coding, don't worry. If it looks so intimidating, it's not that intimidating. I'll teach you like the fundamental, and we will learn, step by step. Okay. All right. So we're here. You got basically we create a variable called sum that hold the value 0. All right. And then we will create a for loop where I is equal to 1, and then I is less than n, all right? So n can be whatever value, all right? So it can be 10, it can be 3, it can be 5. And then I plus plus mean we're going to increase the value, okay? So from there, it will execute basically this block. Let me change color. It will execute this block of code multiple times, all right? So let's say this is 5, all right? 5 is less than 1. Is this condition true or false? So it's 1 less than 5, all right? So the value is 1. The 1 is less than 5. All right, so the statement is actually true, all right? So when it's true, it will execute this code, all right? Now here's the thing, over here, I plus plus will increase the value by 1. So the next time you run it, it will be 2. 2 less than 5, and that's true. And it'll run this code again. And then it will increase the value to 3, okay? All right. So that's basically like the concept of control structure, okay? All right. All right. So function, all right. So with contrast, you're gonna be creating many functions. And this will allow you to build a programmable contract, all right? So before you can build contract, you need to learn about some of the visibility and modifier. All right, so you have public, which will allow you to access which will make it allow you to call it internally and externally. So you're able to call it anywhere. You got external, which can only be callable from other contract and transaction. Internal, which is accessible within the contract or inheritable contract. And private, and this can only be visible within the contract. So the user is not able to see the private. And then you have modifier, okay? So you got view and pure, right? So view is a modifier that will tell Solidity, we're able to read the state, but we're not going to change it, all right? So we're just viewing. So we're just returning a value. Where pure, it doesn't read or change the state, all right? So it's not doing nothing, all right? So this is something where, if you want to perform your logic and it's not, changing none of the variables, all right? This is where you want to use pure, okay? All right, but, this is all great. And, but, it's not, I cannot really, explain the whole concept of programming through slides. So how can we apply this concept, all right? So can anybody take a guess how can I apply this concept? Or where can I code this? All right, give you guys some time. All right, so I see remix, VS Code, all right? So I'm looking for one specific word, all right? And I see some had done it, so start with an I. So IDE, all right? So, an example of IDE is VS Code and Remix, all right? So IDE allow you to write your code and compile it and build it, okay? All right, so this is Remix, and I have showed you guys yesterday, but we didn't went fully in depth just because we want to keep the technical part today. All right. So today we are actually gonna work with two IDE. The first one is gonna be Remix, and it's a cloud IDE that allow you to work with Solidity. And then the second one is I forgot was the Replit. All right. So we're gonna work with Replit for Python. All right. I know if you already have VS Code installed, you can use VS Code for the Python part. But for Remix, for the Solidity, we will work with Remix. All right, just to keep it simple. Okay. All right. Um, give me 1 second. Okay. So hands-on activity. All right. So I'm gonna send you guys. Let me see. Remix Ethereum. I want to get the complete. Okay, this one right here. This is the one I want. All right. So I want you guys. I'm gonna post a link on the chat. All right. And I want you guys to. Oops. All right, that's fine. I'll just wait right here. Okay. So I want you guys to click on a link. All right, and it should take you to this website. All right. And it wants you if you made it up to this point to this website, I just want you to put just type in done. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so I'll give you guys 1 more minute so that way everybody can be at the same pace and it won't be too fast. And then let me know the pacing. Am I going too fast or is it the right speed? Okay. All right. So if you guys feel like if I'm going super fast, just post in the chat. I'm going too fast, and I will slow it down. All right. All right. So morning. Is it Phildo? So pardon me if I get it wrong. Okay. Okay. So look like is everybody's here. All right. Actually, before I start, just post in the chat if you're not up to this point. All right. All right. So just post in the chat if you're not up to this point. Going once, going twice. So it's safe to assume that everybody's up to this point. Okay. So this is Remix, all right? And Remix is an IDE. And what an IDE does, it allow you to code anything. It allow you to program, all right? So this is made specifically for Solidity smart contract and it lives in the cloud. So you know you don't have to worry about storage or you don't have to worry about things getting deleted. It will live in the cloud. All right. So if you hover over, all right, so don't worry. So don't worry if you're under contract and you only see three, that's perfectly fine. Um, okay, so someone said link. All right, so I just posted the link on the chat, okay? Okay, so this is your developing environment, all right? So over here, actually, let's go to the tab, all right? So this is your file explorer, all right? So this is where all your files gonna be, all right? So if I click on it, we should see multiple folders, right? Where your contract is gonna live is gonna be in contract, okay? So don't worry if there's only three, that's perfectly normal, all right? So those are just like kind of like default contracts, you know, just for learning purpose, all right? So you got storage, you know, that's just for learning. So you will see how contract look, right? All right, so to create a contract, all right, what you want to do is click on create a file, right? So it should be the second icon. And you can name the file whatever you want. So I'm gonna name this actually, yeah, I'm gonna name this workshop. Workshop. And you must have an extension at the end called .sol. All right. And that's just Solidity for short. All right. All right. So if you manage to get to this point, just put done. If you feel lost, just type in lost. Okay. All right. Oh, so you guys learning super fast. All right. Awesome. All right. So when you do that, it should open up like a blank, a blank screen with a number one. Okay. And this is where you're gonna be writing your code. All right. So in order to get started, I'm gonna type in pragma, and then you want to hit tab. So you want to hit tab, so that way it can autocomplete. Okay. And for version, I'm gonna add the upper score 0.8. Whoops, it's not 0.8.42. I believe that's the version we had. Oh no, 25. 0.8.25. Okay. All right. All right. So when you type in pragma, hit tab and it'll autocomplete. Okay. Um, you can just type in Solidity version, all right? Or you can just use the previous version, 0.8.2. Right. So normally I just type in Google Solidity version, or I just look at the previous one to get it working. All right. So if you, for like reference, let's say I want to like, let's say 1 month from now, you got a project, all right, and you forgot how to get it, you can just type Solidity version on Google. And let's see, click on the first link and it will tell you the version. So 0.8.25. Okay. So usually the first link where it says home Solidity programming language. Okay. That's not the one. Where is it? Okay. Now, in order to get started, you have to type in the word contract, followed by, the contract name. So normally I give it the same name as my file. So I'm gonna do workshop. And we have to add curly brace, okay? All right, so once you're up to this point, all right, now we can do, our coding, all right? So inside the contract is where all of your code logic will be in, all right? So if you want to add functionality, it will be inside of here, all right? So this is like the basic boilerplate to get started with smart contract, all right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a comment, all right? So for those who's new to coding, all right, 2 forward dash will produce like a green color, and that just means it's going to be a comment, and comment is used to add it's basically a good way to give a description of your program so it can be easy to read and understand. All right, can we please refresh on starting on Remix IDE? All right, so I want you to hover over to contract and hit create new file. Okay, and type in workshop.sol. Okay. All right, let me know once you're there, Nozzle. Let me zoom in. All right. All right. All right. So click on File Explorer. Do you see the File Explorer? You click on it, and it should be contract. And then you want to create a new contract called workshop.sol. All right. All right. So are you up to this point, Nozzle? Okay. All right. So are you guys up to this point? Just post on the chat. Up to this point. Okay. So who's not up to this point? All right. And just let me know if you're not up to this point. Okay. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is go to, so for those who's not up to this point, click on File Explorer. All right. Click on File Explorer. I want you to go contract. All right. So let me know if you see contract. And then create a new file. All right. Create a new file. And type in workshop.sol. Okay. All right. And then let me know once you're up to this point. Okay. Yes. All right. So once again, File Explorer, contract, new file, workshop.sol. Okay. And then just to make it easy, I'll post some of the code on chat. All right. So I just posted the code on chat for those who were kind of behind. Just copy it and just paste it in there. Okay. So don't worry about that part. So don't worry about the artifact and up to 7. That's just on my end because I do some of the programming here. All right. All right. So don't worry about Copilot. Okay. All right, and I'll try to install the file and post it on the chat later on. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So you guys should be up to this point. All right. So let me know if you're up to this point. Okay. All right. So once you're up to this point, we have our basic contract. All right. We finally have our contract, but it's empty. It's an empty contract. All right. So nothing fancy, but we're there. Okay. So let's say we want to create a variable. All right. Actually, before we create anything, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add 2 forward dash. All right. And this is known as a comment. All right. So this is used to, enhance, not really enhance your program, but, make your program more readable. All right. So the computer don't really read the comments. They just ignore it. This is meant for you guys. So I normally like to use comments a lot because they just make it more readable. All right. A readable program is easy to work with and digest. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So next, all right. Let's create, a variable. Okay. So a variable is basically a way to store information, all right? Store information. So think of it of a memory location in your computer where you can store information, all right? So I'm gonna do uint, and uint is called unassigned integer. And I'm gonna type in age, all right? Age, and I'm gonna give it equal to 29. And I have to have a semicolon, all right? All right, so let me know once you guys up to this point. Okay. I've got a couple yes. Okay. So with a variable, you're able to store as many information as you want, all right? You can only store one variable, one value at a time for each variable, all right? So you got age, all right? Let's say if I want to store, let's say a year, right? So today's year is 2024, okay, or even string. And I'll do, let's say, name, my name, all right, and then I'll put my name, Gerson, all right. Okay, so here's a rundown, all right. So you need to have a data type, all right, followed by a variable name. The variable name could be whatever you want. And then you have two options. The first option, you could add a semicolon, and that will just end it, and it will be an empty variable. Or you can assign it value, all right? So when you assign a value, you will need to add equal to whatever value, all right? So for integer, so when you do uint, you will add to have whole numbers. Strings are basically a collection of text, all right? So if you want to add text, you will need to add double quotation mark, one at the beginning and one at the end, okay? All right. So now what I want you guys to do is on the chat, I want you guys to create two variables with some values. And one variable is going to be, uint, and another one is going to be a string, okay? And then once you create it, just post it on the chat. Okay, and once you're done, just you can post it on the chat. All right. Also post your variables on the chat. All right. So just post your variables on the chat. That way I can see if, you guys are on the right page. Okay, awesome. All right. I like this. So look like you guys are learning pretty fast. You guys are a fast learner. All right. All right, let me see. Um, okay. Okay. All right, so next what we're gonna learn is a function, okay? All right, so that's a cool part of this. Solidity is not sensitive to indentation, but you do want to have it organized. So it's not like Python or Ruby where you're very strict with sensitive. All right. So you're not strict with that, but you do need to keep it organized and have semicolon at the end. Okay. All right. So next will be a function. All right. And a function is a collection of codes that perform an action. All right. And the cool thing about a function is it allow you, all right, it allow you to reuse your code multiple times, all right? All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a function called I'm gonna say read age, all right? I'm gonna create a function called read age. Function called read age, all right? And now I will need to add a public access modifier. So this one's gonna be a little long. And for those who are completely new, don't go overwhelmed. All right. I'm gonna do public, and I will need to add a type. So we have view and pure. So I'm gonna add view, and I want to actually return a value. So I have to type in returns. All right. So a little long, and because I'm returning a value, I will have to type in uint. And I'm gonna do, let's say, uint. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me break it down. Okay. So you need, so function is a reserve word. Reserve word. Read age is the name. Whoops. Let me put it right here. Reserve. All right. So you got a parenthesis, and it's gonna be, you know, if you want to add, it is will take values, right? Whoops. Actually, the parenthesis over here, the first parenthesis will take in values. And then you have the option to add a modifier. So that's going to determine, you know, if it be able to view the, is able to get access from other contracts, or, you know, is it super strict? The type of action. So you have either view or pure. So view mean we're able to read the state, but we're not changing it. All right. If we want to change it, we have to remove view, and as well returns. All right. So we want to return a value. Okay. So you notice if you do that, it said, you know, you got 307 gas. All right. So that's part of the blockchain. So blockchain use gas to, you know, to do calculation and to solve puzzle. And that will keep, you know, the blockchain decentralized. All right. So it use a thing called gas. And it's like similar to like kind of Bitcoin, you know, they do like Bitcoin mining, but in Ethereum, you know, they do gas, and you got nodes that be, you know, validating at the back. Okay. All right, so if we need to change the type of values, what needed add in place of view? All right, so let's say if you say you want to change a value, okay? So let's say, you know, I got a misspell. So my name is not Gerson, my name is Jerson, and I wanted to change it inside a function, all right? The thing that you have to change is view, all right? So view, and you have to remove it. So it had to be empty. So this is how it looks, okay? Abhinav, did I pronounce your name right? All right. So you just have to remove you and just leave it as public, okay? So public, when you leave it like that, you're able to access the state, okay? Okay. All right, so we got this, all right? I know it's a lot, all right? I hope I'm not confusing nobody. All right, so now I'm gonna add one line of code, and that's gonna be return age, okay? And this is gonna, basically what that mean is, you know, return a value, okay? All right, look, now we went from I believe it was 304 or 307 gas to 2000, all right? And that just, performing action and function, take, energy. So, it's kind of automatically calculate, all right? So now let's try to run our contract, okay? Actually, before I run it, let me know once you guys are up to this point. All right. I'll give some time so that way everybody can be up to this point. All right, so not yet. So you don't have to include gas. So it will be automatically done in the background. So it will be automatically done in the background, all right? So if you wrote the code correctly, like the function correctly, it will automatically just appear. If not, so you might have a misspell, right? So make sure, it had to be, spelled correctly. So the only thing that doesn't have to be spelled correctly is the name of the function. So this one could be whatever name, but the word function, it gotta be lowercase f. So that's one thing I noticed. A lot of students have to capitalize a lot of things. Lowercase f for function, public, view, returns with the S, and then it will be parenthesis, uint, and then a curly brace. So it's gonna be two curly brace, one for the opening and one for the closing. All right. And while we're at it, look like some students are having issues, so don't worry. I'll post it in the chat for the complete code. All right. So the code I have is working. So I just posted the code. All right. For those who have an issue, you can just copy it and just paste it in there. Mm, so yellow is not really underlined. It usually just mean I guess like a warning, but not really an error. All right. Okay. So once we're up to this point, let's go ahead and compile it. All right. So Solidity is the compile language, and it will need to compile into byte size in order for the machine to read. All right. So other languages like compare like Python, where is it like an interpreter language where it doesn't compile to byte size. This one you will have to compile it. All right. And it's very simple. You just click a button and it will does it automatically. Okay. So let's hover over to Solidity compiler. And then this right here will allow you to compile your contract. All right. So I'm gonna hit compile workshop.sol, and it should give me a green light. Okay. All right. So let me know if we got to this point and it was successful. All right. So what do you mean refresh? All right. So I hit compile. All right. So I'll click on Solidity compiler and hit compile workshop. Okay. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds. All right. And it should give you green. Solidity Copilot not activated. So I don't believe you need Solidity Copilot. Guava, where is it saying Solidity Copilot? All right, so you don't have to worry about the gas. All right, if there's a green check mark, I mean it's good. So you don't have to worry about the gas as long as there's a green check mark for a compiler. That means your code is working. Okay, so don't worry about the gas price. All right, and all you gotta do is just hit compile. Okay, so expected. Okay, so two things. All right, make sure it's all in one line. And the last part is semicolon, right? So if you look at the error, expected semicolon, but got string, right? So you mean you need to add a semicolon, all right? Okay. All right. So the second, all right, I want you to hit compile, all right? And there's another way of doing compiling as well. Actually, there's three ways, all right? But this is just to get you guys familiar, right? So for those who did not get compile, let me how many of you guys were not able to get compile? All right, so going once, going twice. All right. Okay, so please wait. right? So if you hover over to the left-hand side, you can click on compile, right? So it should be the third icon. And if you're not able to find it, there's also two more ways. There's one at the top, compiler Control S, and if you hit Control S, you're able to compile it. All right, or you can hit the play button at the top. All right, but the one I want you guys to do is go to Solidity compiler and then hit compile workshop. Okay. Okay. So now if you get a green check mark, it means that. All right, it's seeing is it actually, so let me see. Someone said type the library name to see available. Constantly compile not activated. Ganana, where are you seeing that error? Okay. Now I want everybody to go where it says deploy and run, right? Right. All right. So I want you guys to go deploy and run. All right. And then let me know what so I want you guys do not mess with the configuration. Just leave everything by default, okay? All right. All right, so don't worry about the terminal, all right? So don't worry about the terminal. We're not working on a terminal on Ganana. All right, so I want you guys to go to deploy and run transaction and do not touch none of the configuration. Just leave it at default, all right? And once you're up to this point, just let me know what environment is it showing. All right, okay. Okay, solid and cool. All right, cool. Yeah, so I was like worried, or I hope they have all the same version and not some random different version. But make sure, let me know which one it says Cancun, right? But don't change anything, right? And then also, does it show any information on account? Let's say 100 Ether. So after you compile, you want to go to deploy and run, which is below it, right? And then let me know, what does it say for account? Does it say like 100 Ether? All right. So once again, I'm gonna post it on the chat for those who don't have my code. All right. Okay. All right. So I just posted some of the code on the chat. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. So this is where you're gonna be playing around as if you have an um digital wallet, right? So when you work with blockchain, all right, and actually not even work when you play around with the blockchain, you will have what is known as a digital wallet, right? And for Ethereum, you have MetaMask, okay? So every account will have a account address, and this is just for testing purpose. But in a real situation, you will test it out with real address, all right? And there's gonna be gas, and you add some value, okay? So I want you guys hover over where it says deploy and click on deploy, okay? All right. It should show like a green check mark on a terminal. All right. Yep. And as well, if you go down, there should be a contract as well. Okay. All right. Showing warning. All right. So I just put Ghana. I just posted the code on the chat. So just copy that one and compile it. All right. So that's the one that's working. All right. So when you run it, actually, let's click on debug. Well, not debug. Let's click on the down arrow. All right. Let's click on the down arrow. All right. And we basically created our first block. If you see this, this is basically the information that's being stored on a blockchain. Well, this one's not really storing on the blockchain. This is storing like a virtual blockchain just for testing purpose. But in the real world scenario, it will be actually storing a blockchain. Okay. All right. So let me know if you're able to see all this information. So you just click on the arrow. All right. All right, and that's your information. All right, it give you a transaction hash, which is an ID of your transaction, as well as your block hash, which is an ID. And this is your very first block. So we create a block. We have our address, and this is our contract address, and we have our personal address. And then how much is the gas and the transaction cost. All right. All right, so don't worry if it create like different number, all right? So this is like a virtual environment, so it's not gonna be 100% perfect, all right? All right. Now, in order to test your contract, let's hover over here and click on the down arrow. Okay. And it should show you, balance 0 ETH and read age, all right? Let me know once you're up to this point. Oh man. Okay. So click on the down arrow over here, and we should be up to this point. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, kind of a little sick today. All right. So this is our function. We have a function, and because it's public, we're able to see on our end. All right. So if we change it to private, we won't be able to see this button. But because it's public, we're able to see it. So I want you to click on it and let me know what happened. All right. I want you to click on that button and let me know what happened. All right. So that is correct. Ariana. So my bad if I pronounce it wrong. It show your age. Okay. I'm gonna hit read age. And it also, and it show right here. So for me, it will go 29 because I put age 29. Okay. All right. So how are you guys feeling with this? All right. All right. So we ran our first, smart contract. So we were able to compile it and we were able to, read the value. Okay. All right. So now when you, let's say, add some new code, you have to recompile it. And, a easier way of doing it, instead of going to click on this button, you can hit the run button, or you can type Control S to compile it. So if I do, let's say this, all right, it'll compile it, all right? All right, now let's do a programming challenge. Well, yeah, small little programming challenge, all right? So I'll give you guys a few minutes. Now I want you guys to create a function call, actually, yeah, we gotta keep it simple. Read year, all right? call the function called read year, and then return the year, right? Right. All right, so the recording will be provided. And I give you guys 5 more minutes. So I believe they will email you the recording, okay? Uh, I say you can tag this on your Upwork, all right? All right. All right, you guys 3 more minutes, and then we'll do this together. All right, so we got one done. All right, awesome. Okay, that's it. So we got a couple students that says done. All right, awesome. All right, so to do this, actually, I want someone just post it on a chat. You know what was the code that you used um to build it? All right. So I want everybody to help each other, right? Right. So if you guys were feeling lost, there's already code on chat that you can grab and you can use it. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna use read here. Oh, and I see some good comments. All right. Awesome. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit compile. I'm gonna hit deploy, and we should have a new contract. Let me delete this. Oh, oops. All right. And we should see age and year. All right. I'm gonna do read year, read age. All right. Awesome. All right. So I'm pretty sure we might have some student that went ahead and tried to do for name, and you probably ran some issue. Okay. So let's copy this one right here, repaste it, and change it to read name. Okay. Okay. So this one's gonna be a little different, slightly. All right. Just one word different. All right. So we're gonna change UN to string. And because we're returning a string, we need to type in memory. So this one is required for all strings. And then from there, we can actually return our name, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do rename. I'm gonna hit run. All right, I'm gonna hit deploy. And now I'm able to read my name. and read year, okay? That's just Solidity. So Solidity is used that by default for memory, right? So it's just their way of doing things. So if you do it without memory, it was just gonna give you an error. So it's not gonna work compared to uint. So for text, it has to if you're doing anything with text, you have to have memory, and that's just Solidity rule. So that's just Solidity rule. Okay. All right. And let's see. All right, so we can do one more programming challenge after this one. Okay. Okay. All right, so before I do anything, all right, so let me add some comments right here. View, and then pure, okay? So with view, you're able to read the state of the variables, but can't make change, right? So you can't make any change if you're trying to use view, okay? All right. Where pure, all right, you are not touching the variables, all right? Or not reading, okay? So we're gonna create a function that's gonna be using pure, okay? So I'm gonna create a function call, I'm gonna call double value, all right? Now this time I'm gonna pass in a parameter in here. It's gonna be uint, and I'm gonna have to add a variable name, all right? So now this one is a little different, right? So when you pass in a value over here, it means that we're going to take in a value from our contract, okay? So I'm going to do now public view. No, not view, my bad. Public pure returns uint, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do return value times 2, okay? So what this means is we have a function called double value, and it's going to take in one value right here, okay? And because it's not changing our variables, not touching it, it will be considered a pure. And we want to return a integer, okay? Okay. So let's deploy it. Let's compile it. Let me delete everything in here. Run it. Compile it, and then I'm gonna hit deploy. And then I'll go here. And now look what we have, okay? So look like we have a input. All right, so let me know once you guys are up to this point. Okay. All right, so you guys a minute. All right. All right, so let's add in a value over here. Now we have a text input because of this right here. And you can see it has uint value, all right? So I'm gonna type in 33. You can do whatever number, as long as there's a whole number, right? And I'm gonna hit double value. And notice it did some math computation, 66. 127. Let's say 1. 10, 27, 32. Okay. All right. Are you guys able to see the value? Okay. All right. So the name double value is just a name. All right. So this one specifically right here, Monica, it's just the name of the function. All right. And you can add whatever name you want. All right. So it doesn't have to be double value. I can just call it increase value or multiply two values. All right. Or increase number. Right. It's just a name of a function. Okay. So this is just the name of a function. All right. And all it does is just taking a value. Okay. So this one specifically, you don't have to remember. You can name it whatever you want. I can do, let's say I'm gonna change it to um, actually multiply. I'm gonna call it multiply. All right, multiply. I can change this. I'm gonna hit run. Let me delete this. Deploy. And now I have a different name. Multiply. All right. So then I'm gonna do 25 and do the same thing. Okay. So that's just a name. Yeah. So everything else is are you had to remember. Function. Everything that is not white. Okay, so I want that's one thing I want you to remember. So the one that's in white, that just you can name it whatever you want. All right, so that you have the freedom to do so. The one that's in green and blue is, those are the stuff you got to remember. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna speed run this. It's gonna be a last function. All right. All right. So we're gonna create a smart contract where we want to check if the user is a Solidity programmer, right? Okay, so I'm gonna create function. Actually, no, I'm gonna check if the user is old enough to, let's say, to drive a car. Okay, so I'm gonna type in a function called check age. All right, check age, and I'm gonna type in uint, and I'm gonna type in, I'm gonna create a name called person age. Okay, and that's gonna be all right. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, so it's gonna be person age. And this time, because it is not changing anything, it's gonna be pure. And I'm gonna return a string, actually. So I'm gonna return a string, and it's gonna have to be memory. Okay. All right. So do you guys remember the condition? All right. So I'm gonna add a condition where if person age is greater than or equal to, let me see, 21, right? I'm gonna return you are old enough to work for Solidity Corporation, right? Else, right? I'll put it right here. Else, you are too young. You are too young. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna deploy. And we should have a check gauge, all right? So I'm gonna type in 25. And it produced a string. You are not old enough to work at Solidity Corporation. Okay. All right, so second. And I'm gonna post the complete code, all right? Whoops, why? Okay. Let's see. For some reason it's not running it. There we go. Okay. So I just posted the function on the chat. All right, and let me know if it's able to run. All right. Okay. So actually, so we gotta wrap it up right here for the technical portion. So how are you guys feeling today?